All right, hey everybody. This is our interview series that we have started doing to introduce you to our community partners that we work with on a regular basis, that we trust and are really into overall health and wellness. And so today we're bringing on Allyson Balzuweit. She is the registered dietitian that we are using, that comes to Functionize and sees clients at Functionize. And people really love her because she's real about how she approaches food and nutrition, and she's not about supplements and dieting. It's really about fueling your body with the things it needs. And so we wanted to introduce her, and so you can get to know her and learn about the things that she's offering. So welcome, Allyson. Can you tell us a little bit about what your business is and all of that?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to see a familiar face after being locked up for 3 weeks in my house. So yeah, I'm Allyson Balzuweit. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and I also have a master's degree in public health promotion. After working in various settings in a lot of different conventional healthcare systems, I slowly started to launch my own private practice about just over 2 years ago. And that opportunity actually was partly thanks to Functionize and Lauren, where they needed a dietitian, and I filled that spot. And so I've been working with you guys for over 2 years, and also have slowly branched out into my own community of Smyrna, the Smyrna Vinings area. And I am passionate about equipping people with knowledge and information that can translate to long-lasting habits that will translate to a healthier lifestyle and better eating habits. So I work with all types of people with different types of medical conditions, but mainly right now, like I just really love to help the average healthy person that just wants to just be better, do better, and just kind of discern all of the confusing information that's out there in the media about different fad diets. So right now I'm just constantly trying to connect in my community and just form relationships and just help to teach people about nutrition and healthy eating.
Oh, awesome. Well, I know our clients have loved working with you because of that reason, and just keeping people active in what they're doing, and fueling their bodies and really educating them on what they need to have a overall healthy lifestyle. So I know one of your big things is all about eating real food. So what does that mean to the average person?
When I think about eating real food, for me, that means that the majority of the food that we're taking in should be coming in a form that's as close to its natural state in nature. So obviously the first thing you would think about is fruits and vegetables that are, crops being harvested, and eating real food that's minimally processed. So the minute that we're looking at a package or trying to read a label that seems confusing or overwhelming is a red flag that is not a real food. So the further down the production line a food goes, the more processed it's going to be, and therefore the more unhealthy it's going to be. So really just pulling back and thinking about our ancestors that didn't have access to all of these crazy different new products that are on the market and that are coming out year after year, and reverting to plant-based, like fruits and vegetables, lean animal protein, and fish, and healthy fats from nuts, seeds, and oils that are not refined and processed.
Okay. So what about, some people get on these kicks where they're like, I'm going to eat kale salad, or I'm going to just eat like these, really get on eating what they think is the trend. Like, what do you recommend?
So I think one of the things that makes me stand out from other dietitians is that the words that come to my mind as far as like my approach and my mission is to be practical, realistic, and reasonable. That I really try to spend time getting to know my clients and all of the factors of their lives that contribute to their health and their wellness and their eating choices. And that would include things like their work schedule, their stress level, if they're sleeping well, whether or not they have a workout routine, if they like to cook or not. So once I get to know them and evaluate what they're willing to do, what might be harder to do, then we set the goals that are realistic, practical, measurable, and that can be turned into a habit that becomes intuitive. And then we move on and set more goals. So a lot of people up front don't love to hear that because they want the quick fix, but that never works. And my clients that have been the most successful, especially with something like weight loss or reversing diabetes, they start slow and we focus on the small changes that add up over time. And then once they get that implemented, as just a regular lifestyle habit, then we move on. So it's gradual. In a lot of cases, I don't want my patients to be losing 5 pounds a week. That's not realistic. And then in that case, they also eventually might be losing lean mass that we want to protect as well. So
Gotcha.
I think that connecting and having a personal relationship with my clients is an asset in my business. Whereas in a lot of traditional settings where you go in and you have a fixed amount of time with a dietitian, they might hand you a packet that says, okay, you have diabetes, here's what you should do, and here's what you should eat and not eat. As opposed to taking a customized approach of, let's see what's going to work for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So what about, I know we've talked a little bit about like food labels and how labels they're changing gradually, but in 2020, the food labels are supposed to show more of what's in the food. So how has that changed over the past year or so?
The food labels are constantly changing and they're constantly confusing. And I think that, it would take a full session with somebody to go through an actual food label to really break it down. But if we're looking at the most vital parts, I would highlight the number of ingredients that are in that food. So ideally you want to look for 5 or less. And that can vary depending on what the food is, but the more ingredients that are listed and especially the ones that you don't even understand the word or can't pronounce it, that's a red flag that it's not a real food.
Right.
And then looking at added sugar. I don't use the word that sugar is bad. I don't ever want my clients to feel ashamed if they eat sugar. But the reality is that so many foods contain hidden sugars that you would not normally think about or know. So looking at the label, and the label will list the total sugar that is included in that food. And some foods on their own naturally contain sugar. Fruit, for example, if an apple had a label, you would see that it has sugar in it. Milk and plain yogurt have sugar. But when you're looking at a fruit flavored yogurt or an applesauce that is flavored, there's a lot of added sugar in there. So if you can see that a food has like 8 grams of sugar, but then there are 6 grams of added sugar, that's telling you that they're truly adding like granulated or some other form of extra sugar to that product. And that's what you want to look out for. And so minimizing the intake of that is going to be ideal. And then choosing when you want to have the real sugar. If you want to have some like a high quality piece of chocolate after dinner with controlled portions, making a conscious choice about that, or a dish of ice cream versus just all day going through. And especially when I think about like what we are giving our kids and just how easy it is for them to load up, whether it's through cereal or yogurt or fruit snacks that are seemingly healthy, but they really are not. And that extra sugar is fueling a vicious cycle of blood sugar peaks and valleys that lead to more hunger, more eating. So that's just a cycle that we really need to try to break for ourselves.
Right. So what is the guideline for the amount of sugar that you should consume a day?
So the guideline would be for a man on average, no more than 9 teaspoons, which is only about 30 grams of added sugar. So that's very, very little. So if you tailor that down, and for a woman, it's 7 teaspoons. So if you go through your day, and depending on how you're eating, pretty tight recommendation. The first thing I always ask my clients is, what are you drinking?
Mm-hmm.
So juice often, even if it's 100% real juice,
Mm-hmm.
that still is a strong source of sugar, and you're not getting the fiber that you would get from a whole piece of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So beverages is like the number one way to start kind of evaluating your sugar intake.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what are some tips you can give people that are at home right now and they want to make some good decisions in what they're eating and how best to do that from their home?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that it is very easy, especially with like just the stress of all of the transitions that we're going through, to have to be sheltering at home, whether it's because we have our kids home or working from home, spouses working from home. So I think that as much as possible, having some sort of a structured approach to meal time and snack time, and also even workout time, is going to be ideal. And that might not look the same every day, because
Right.
you might have calls to get on, or your kids might have a call that they have to get on for school. But what I've told my family and myself is that, like, we're all gonna kind of be in the kitchen around the same time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so that there's
Mm-hmm.
not like this ongoing access to the kitchen.
Right.
And I think that, my experience with people that work from home, and even myself as a mom who has stayed at home quite a bit with my kids, when you are home like that, it's very easy to want to take a break from whatever you're working on and just open the refrigerator or open the
Mm-hmm.
pantry and just grab whatever. Also, because it's a stressful time with all this uncertainty, we're more prone to do that anyways. So trying to be structured, but not rigid. And I just think it's important to not beat yourself up if you have a day where everything goes haywire and you eat a pint of ice cream, rather than just shaming yourself or feeling like you just need to throw in the towel. Reset. That's a perfect time to like connect with somebody like me that can kind of talk you off the ledge and get you going again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we need to be kind to ourselves and give ourselves leeway, but definitely the structure is going to be the most important piece, just like it is with the kids that are trying to do schoolwork from home.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're living in it would be so easy to be loosey goosey.
Mm-hmm.
And that said, on the weekends we tend to not abide by that rule and let it be a little bit more free form, and how it normally would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I also would say, because we are sheltering at home, there is more time. We're not driving and commuting to work. We're not running our kids around for
Mm-hmm.
sports activities. So it's a really good time to think about spending some focused time in the kitchen. It doesn't have to be cooking, but just, preparing meals or getting things ready that can be accessible for ourselves or to our kids. There's no excuse anymore, even though we're still busy in a different way. I think
Mm-hmm.
we have extra time on our hands because we're removing all of that transit time. So this is a great opportunity for people that would like to reset and revamp their nutrition, or their fitness. So yeah.
Yeah. No, and I agree. The extra time has been amazing when you realize the amount of time you do in carpool and getting things ready just for your kids to go to school and your own
Yep.
work. So yeah, it's kind of been nice to have that change, but then like you said, the structure is super important to put in place. So it's not, you know, falling off the wayside of just
Right.
eating whatever's there available.
And one thing I'll add to that, that is sort of working for us, there are days that just become stressful. And even though I love to cook personally, sometimes I'm at a standstill and I just don't feel like it. I've had a rough day trying to guide my kids, through their stuff. And we've sort of implemented an every other day cooking dinner routine where
Mhm.
I will make recipes that can be doubled so we have leftovers, or
Mm.
we are doing takeout once a week in our house, once to twice, either for my husband and I will do it for dinner, and the kids will maybe have their own, and then we're getting them stuff, occasionally.
Mhm.
But trying to support those small local restaurants and to give
Sure.
myself a break from cooking. But I think that it's important to not feel the pressure that every night there has to be dinner on the table, but I just still think it's a good opportunity when you're feeling good and motivated, you know, to kind of experiment in the kitchen a little bit and also get your kids involved. My kids have enjoyed helping out, and it's a good, you know, teaching moment for them as well. So
yeah, I agree. It's good. All right. So are you offering any promotions during this time to help people through this?
I am, for both new and current and old clients. I am offering a basically open chat time. So for 45 minutes of, you know, virtual, it could be video or an audio call, whatever the client prefers, for just $49, which is very discounted from what I normally am charging. I'm offering just sort of like a free or an open session at the client's discretion, whatever they would like to discuss. So it could be somebody that just has a bunch of questions, you know, about things that they're reading about or different trends that they see, and if they want to know if it's healthy or not. It could be that person that's used to going to an office that's now stuck at home that just needs a little bit of extra help kind of structuring what the eating schedule looks like. It could be somebody that wants to have suggestions for how to meal plan, or, you know, getting some healthy recipes to them. So and also I should have mentioned first, I always offer a complimentary 15-minute phone call with anybody that just wants to touch base and talk to me and see, you know, understand more about my services or see if we would be a good fit. And so that would be a good use of that time to then maybe mention what those issues are that they might be interested in talking about in a 45-minute session. So that is going to be through all of April and all of May as of now. And I'm also hoping to do some like nutrition mini classes online. I'm still trying to work through the structure of what that would look like. And that's it would be a new service for me. So hopefully that might come down the pike, especially for the functionized clients. And the ones that are working out with you guys virtually might enjoy just some nutrition tidbits, or to get online and just have like a Q&A session. So that's in the works.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So it's $49 for a 45-minute session, but you also do the 15-minute complimentary.
Yeah. And then from that point, yes. And if somebody after that 45 minutes decides they would like to work with me on an ongoing basis, that will also be discounting any follow-ups or, you know, any services that I offer, because this is a tough time for everybody. And so more on that pricing later. I'll work individually with people on that. But yeah, it's just an affordable way to get some information and to get quality information.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah,
that's really great. Cool. All right. So where can people find you to take advantage of these promotions, get to follow you on Instagram or Facebook? What is your handle?
My handle on Instagram is Allyson Balzuweit, which I know that you'll put in the comment section. So it's just my first and last name with no period in between. My website is AllysonBalzuweit.com. And I should have mentioned too that I have a weekly email that goes out on Fridays called Friday 4 that has, I highlight 4 different things each week. So a nutrition or food tip, a product that I think is high quality and worth mentioning. And it's not even always related to food or cooking or nutrition. It could be skincare or a kitchen appliance or something like that. I always have a recipe that's very simple and easy. And then I always talk about something useful, and sometimes that's a quote, and sometimes that's just a kitchen hack or a tip. So people can go to my website at AllysonBalzuweit.com and subscribe to get those emails for free. And I don't have any other stuff that goes out. There's no spam involved. It's only once a week, I promise. So that's another just option. And then my Instagram account, again, on my feed, I do offer tips and recipes and stuff like that. And my website has recipes as well. So,
yeah. No, your Instagram is really good. You have some good recipe tips and ideas that I really enjoy. So
good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. But everybody, if you're interested in Allyson services, we will post this, all the information in the caption, and we are glad we could introduce you to our audience, and have a good weekend. This is a Friday, so enjoy your weekend, and thanks again, Allyson.
Thank you. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.